He's gone. He couldn't go all the way.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
We talking about practice.
You play to win the game.
Playoffs?
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's Division I football! It's the Big 12! It ain't intramurals!
So we usually just kick it off on getting a little bio of your life and what is kind of gone on in your life leading up to this point and how you kind of became a swimmer.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, Ryan, thank you for having me. So my name is Kyle Kerrigan. I grew up in Muncie, Indiana, about an hour or so from Indianapolis, Indiana, and basically swam my whole life, all through college, high school, college, did all the summer swim, fall swim, and it's not as fun and there's not as much competition, but getting ready for either the middle school or high school season. And then when you get to college, it's just all year. But I did that for a number of years and ended up going from Muncie to swimming at DePauw University with a W, small D3 school. Had ambitions, wanted to maybe go to Ball State and swim, thought about that, but ultimately landed at a place where I had an incredible coach. Ironically, we never thought my coach could actually swim. We worried if he ever fell in the pool. You wouldn't think of him as a traditional swim coach, you might say. In fact, he was a former O-line coach for another university, and then he fell into swimming and was one of the most successful coaches in our university's history, and that's Adam Cohen. And then
Cool.
After swimming at DePauw, I found it really challenging to give up competition as after graduating, entering the workforce. And at that point I said, well, let's maybe try triathlons, maybe get in to some of the cycling and running, and then fell in love with running, and then have been doing ultra marathons over the last 6-7 years. And that's now kind of just a part of my day, is getting up, doing something physical, hard. And it's really what I found to be the best way to start the day.
Cool. And it's always kind of just about atomic habits and kind of keep going and having those repetitive good habits just to make you just a better person and all in all. I do think it's really cool, or I like getting up and running in the morning. Obviously, I have school at 7:20, but I go to a sleepaway camp for 7 weeks, and every morning I get up and I run 2 miles.
Oh, that's great to hear.
So I love running.
Wow,
It's
you
fun.
start school at 7:20?
Sorry, I leave.
Oh, okay.
It's 8.
Yeah.
I was gonna be impressed, because I don't even start work that early very often. But I was thinking to myself, Dylan, that's hard. That's hard to do.
Because I'd be getting up at 5:56. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking before the pod. You picked up golf, and what
Yes, I
else are you
did.
involved in right now?
I played pretty much all of the sports, but I'm pretty involved in basketball, football, getting involved in golf. Basketball and football is the main two that I really, really like.
Okay.
I'm starting Pop Warner this summer right after camp.
Well, you played lacrosse.
Lacrosse I've been really loving too.
You've been doing
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu once a week.
Yeah. I'm doing jiu-jitsu.
You're hitting the mats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you liking that?
Yeah. It's fun.
I've
It's
heard
very
it can be helpful with your hips and flexibility for sports like football or running.
Yeah, it's also like you'd think like some people just could consider it like, oh, it's fun, you just need to be strong. It's a very strategical game. Like if you were fighting, or not fighting, but like having a match with somebody who was a blue belt and really smart, and they were maybe a little shrimpy or skinny, and you're this really big athlete, like let's say you're a massive soccer or no, a football player. It's a very like I bet the blue belt could mess you up in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, because of the tactics and
Yeah.
strategy.
It's all about strategy, and it's all about situational thinking. It's really fun. I've been loving it.
Yeah, you get to use your mind, solve problems with your body. Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely. And as a kid, did you do a lot of sports or just swimming?
I did a lot of sports. No martial arts. It's probably one regret I have is not being exposed to jiu-jitsu or karate, but did soccer, track, football, basketball. Really ended up focusing on soccer and swimming in high school, but baseball was something everyone did. I mean, while people might have had a couple other things, the one consistency in our community seemed to be baseball. Just fun. We had a great resource, the local university, Ball State University. Players would come out and coach our teams. Got exposure to a lot of great athletes that way too. And I feel like I was if I wasn't playing on a team, I was doing a hitting camp. I was doing some agility camp for baseball. It was really fun, but it ended kind of around 6th, 7th grade. And then that was kind of the time where my parents and a lot of people talking to us were saying, well, you got to focus on a couple things. And so for me, that became soccer and swimming, and eventually just swimming at the end of high school.
Yeah. And also again, that's why it's important early in your childhood, as my dad said, just to kind of just try everything, see what you like, because later in life you kind of have to more center down or zero in on 2 or 1 kind of topics that you think are really your edge and your strength. So you swam at DePauw, which has a Division III, no scholarship, no TV camera, just love of the sport. What's something about the college swimming most people don't realize?
Great question. I think what most people don't realize is no matter which level you're competing at, it is 2-a-days pretty much all season long. It's maybe the D1 athletes are putting in another hour. They're certainly a lot faster, but the hours are still the same. It's coming in before class, swimming an hour to 2 hours, lifting, and going back to the pool after class and swimming for another 2 hours. And it really doesn't scale based on the division. It's the same level of commitment. Now, we had a special team, though. We probably had a unique experience where we had 8 guys that were part of my class, swam all 4 years together. Typically in Division III, across most sports, you just see a lot of people quit. I mean, there is no scholarship. Eventually, people do start focusing on life or their careers or what's next. And they realize, hey, I liked doing this in high school. I kind of like doing it as a freshman in college. But I'm focused on other things right now, like the fraternity or the sorority. But we had 8 guys that went the distance all together. And I think that was a little rare, but most people probably want to expect that the hours are just as long at Division III as they are at D1.
Yeah.
What do you think it was that propelled those 8 guys, without the D1, perks or supposed perks, but the same, like what propelled that group forward?
Some of it had to do with our coach. He was an expert at building teams. He really treated us like family. we were going over to his house every Sunday for cookouts. What also helped was we were good. We had a lot of good guys, a lot of fast guys. People in our class, myself and two other guys, were captains when we were juniors. Usually it's seniors that are captains. And we were captains for 2 years in a row. I think we were very competitive. So I often was more nervous for practice than I was for meets competition because, you know, I knew if I didn't keep up, I was going to hear it from the guys. So usually every Wednesday we had this type of practice called a lactate set. Basically, you're going to go at race speed, rest, and do it again. Rest and do it again. Usually practice, you're just swimming continuously, you know, long distances. This, you actually sprint and stop and your muscles are just aching, right? It's that sugar being converted into energy and that lactic acid and that pain you feel in your muscles after doing a sprint. So Dylan, maybe you sprint half a mile, you know, you're going to feel some pain in your legs. I mean, maybe even in your chest, because as that lactic acid from burning up that sugar goes throughout your body. And those sets were all racing. And it was every Wednesday afternoon. You knew it was coming. You dreaded it. You knew it was going to be painful. You often threw up. But I got more nervous for those. But that competition we instilled in each other, that higher standard, it really formed teams the right way, blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes for the coach, it's just kind of tough love. It's helping you. Not really best in your situation if you're throwing up and your legs and chest are aching, but it's going to help you in the long run and your swimming career, and the coach knows that.
You know, it's an interesting topic that's come up because Dylan had an incredible basketball game on Sunday. And what was incredible about it was his attitude and effort was 2 steps faster than everybody on the court. And so we've been talking about, you know, the quality of your mental attitude to carry you further than you believe that you can. And it sounds like that coach, in building a team and building competition, probably pulled more out of the team collectively than the individual thought that they were capable of.
Oh, absolutely. Cohen was able to know, you know, you in talking with some of the athletes you've already engaged, Dylan, or I'm sure in the future others will talk about this, but some of the best coaches know how to not just motivate a team, but what are those individual triggers for each athlete. You know, some athletes really thrive off the yelling, the being loud, the aggression. Some want you to pull them aside, talk to them quietly, address those things. Some, you don't need to say anything. Just tell them what they have to do. Be really direct. And he kind of knew how to meet every individual where they're at, and at the same time bring everybody together. It's a really, when you find that from a coach, it also forms a really strong bond with that coach, because you're thinking to yourself, this guy gets me. This guy is listening to me. This guy is being empathetic to the situation if maybe I'm not performing well, or I'm performing well and he's recognizing it in a way I want to be recognized. And Coach Cohen was incredible at that.
And what type of person were you to receive information?
Great question.
I kind of, you know, I got motivated off the yelling. You know, we had some loud guys. We had Cohen could be very loud. There were many arguments, you know, some curse words, which might surprise some folks. It's usually reserved for the basketball court or football field, but we had plenty of them. But I was really motivated by the team goals too. I knew Cohen led with a position, a motto that this is not a sacrifice. If you view this as a sacrifice, then you're not recognizing the privilege that this opportunity has. It's a privilege to be a college athlete. It's a privilege to get to swim for that team. And when you adopt that mentality, you take things seriously, but you also begin to look at even the hard things as, well, these are opportunities. This is not something I have to get through. This is something I get to do. And that mindset really resonated with me and kind of changed the way I looked at things too. It helped me become more of an optimistic person. I think I'm hardwired to be a little more cynical, maybe a little more pessimistic. And at that time, I adopted this motto of unrelenting enthusiasm every day. I put it up on my swim locker, put it up my desk. It's written in a card I carry in my wallet. But it is basically based on this approach of, if you can be the most enthusiastic person in a room, in the classroom, on your team, and the workplace, then people will want to be around you and work with you. And even if you might not be the best, they're going to want to be your teammate. And it's helped me live life more optimistically ever since.
Unrelenting optimism. What a great quote.
Definitely.
Sounds like that there was a lot of gratitude and the ability to work hard.
Absolutely. A ton.
Yeah. So, can you tell us the story from the swim team that still makes you laugh 10 years later?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, I don't know, Dylan, if you've heard this. I'm sure, Ryan, you may have. There's a lot of maybe basketball teams that will hold a midnight practice because it's the first day they can have an official practice.
Yeah.
Well, my sophomore year, our coach had the idea, we're going to do that. So first, we're going to swim at midnight. And I remember getting kind of pumped up. I remember thinking we had just won the championship the previous year. We had 90% of the team coming back. We were a pretty young team, so it was really the same team all again. And we're stoked. We had been lifting all fall, and we had this midnight practice, and it was horrible. I mean,
Was it freezing?
Oh, it was cold. I felt so sick the next day because it threw off my sleep schedule. And it was dumb on our part for agreeing to it, because then we still had to go back and practice that next afternoon. We laugh about it to this day. I don't know why. I still don't know why we thought it was a good idea. We thought it would be cool, be like the basketball team, and I would undo that in a heartbeat. It was awful.
Yeah, I mean, the conditions are bad. You're tired. You don't like. I mean, maybe you thought it'd be cool to, I guess, just.
Something off the beaten path.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I remember
thinking, just something off the schedule.
Yeah, I was watching Sunday Night Football, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I got to go to the pool in a couple hours. Why are we doing this? This couch is so warm.
Yeah. But it still is. I bet it is something that definitely it wasn't good. But again, as you said, or as I said, it's kind of, even though it wasn't your favorite thing, it's still good for you. And
it also created a memorable moment from college that you're talking about 10 years later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We still talk about it.
Yeah. So you've been promoted 4 times. Upbring.
Well, ask him what that is. It Upbring?
Upbring?
Yeah, Upbring, like your upbringing. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Upbringing over 8 years. What kept you growing inside one place when most people jump every couple years.
And so Upbring, everything we do is focused on child well-being, whether that's the foster care programs and children we serve in foster care, whether it's the children we serve in our Head Start preschools, or those children that might be aging out of foster care then into adulthood and don't have that forever home and are just going to need some help transitioning into college or the workplace. And it all boils down to, what does that child, that youth need individually to grow, to realize their well-being holistically, whether that's their physical health, their material needs, their educational or cognitive needs, or just their emotional needs. What can we do to meet them where they're at and they leave our care better than when they entered? And as you said, I've had a couple different roles. What's kept me is, I think, two things. First, all throughout my career in the nonprofit sector, I've been presented with opportunities, things I haven't done. And that's been one of the benefits of this work, is there's maybe not a project manager on staff, or maybe somebody that doesn't know how to deal with data or numbers. And I've said yes to everything, even if I didn't know how to do it, because I figured, well, I can figure it out, but I knew it would build my skills, that would challenge me to learn new things. So basically every promotion or change in job I've had at Upbring has been, hey, we need somebody to do this. We thought of you. And I say, yes. I just said yes. And the second thing that's kept me with Upbring is, the mission is certainly near and dear to my heart. I believe children are the future. They are the solution to most, if not all, of society's problems. If you put the child first in your thinking, well, it does change the way how you identify solutions. But what really motivates me about that is complexity. It's dealing with really hard questions. Okay, this child has suffered trauma or a really bad experience or been abused. How could we even know what that child needs? Can we predict what that child needs? Can we measure it? These are really challenging questions, and they're complex, and they keep me thinking. I am motivated by the challenge of solving problems or figuring these things out. There's little puzzles, and then there's really big puzzles. And I've always been interested in, fixated on solving things like that.
Yeah. And also, just with kind of the challenges in this, I personally, even though it definitely frustrates me, I kind of like when I have a challenge or something hard or something that I can't, or not that I can't do, but something that I need to work on, because it makes life more fun. I mean, if there were no challenges and you didn't need to work, you just got money and everybody had a home, and life wouldn't be fun.
No,
it's all about the experiences and the challenges. And I definitely do think the just kind of challenge part of it, and just having these really difficult thinking, and just also working with a really good nonprofit program is awesome.
Also is at the end of solving those challenges is, my guess, making a profound impact on somebody's life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you step back and look at our whole organization, talking about 10,000 kids a year we're serving. Wow. But you drill into somewhere like Austin, where we have about a dozen children in foster care, and each one of them has a story. Each one of them has been connected with a wonderful foster family that has raised their hand and said, I'm going to be willing to share my love, my life, my home with a child that I don't know, but it's the right thing to do in their mind. And those people have, yes, it is a privilege to do it, but they give so much of themselves. And so that inspires me. And when you see that child may be reunified with their family, or that child make progress in school where they were struggling before, or get access to healthcare where they maybe didn't have the best doctors before, or access, or just communicate, thanks for listening to me. Those things really land with a profound impact on your heart. What
Yeah.
Dylan, you mentioned you enjoy challenges. What's something that's maybe challenged you recently?
Maybe I'm just gonna go simple with something we already talked about. My golf swing. It has kind of, it's very difficult in a game of kind of inches and where you put your feet and just the way you pull it back or where your club's at and how you swing down. It is very difficult, but that's why I've been liking it. It's just been very kind of more about the process and not just getting there.
I know of another challenge that you've been wrestling with this year.
Oh, yeah. My teacher has not been good this year.
Oh,
but hard. One of the things that we talked about, with this teacher, which has I think been a great learning lesson in third grade, is, we're going to work with people that we don't necessarily get along with and see eye to eye. We're going to have friends in our friend circle that maybe rub us the wrong way, people on our teams. And, it's our job to, kind of meet people in the middle to understand who they are and not be surprised when they show up as who they are. And, especially for a third grader, 9-year-old, to not want to react. But man, Dylan has done such a fantastic job over the course of this school year of being in acceptance of, okay, this is who my teacher is and this is how she shows up. And some days are tougher than others, but he's definitely grown and observed how he's, physically, emotionally responding and been able to temper, that reaction in some way, which, makes me so proud. And I told him, I was like, hey, this is a battle. And I was like, if you can make progress over this year with that perspective, you're going to learn more in third grade than everybody else or whatever's in any book, that'll help you kind of navigate, life and working with other people.
Yeah.
Man, that is phenomenal perspective. I don't know if I ever had a conversation that deep in third grade. I'm very impressed.
Well,
thanks.
He's got the aptitude to have it. So
that's great.
He didn't want to hear it the first couple of months of school. He was like, dude, I'm not trying to hear any of that. But we kept on working on it. And like I said, I don't know. What has your experience been, making those strides?
So basically, if I kept doing it, it's just escalating the situation. So I learned that mentally I could just kind of placate her. And inside, not really. My strategy has just been kind of not lighting into the fire or not kind of escalating the situation and just being like, sure, okay, yes, ma'am, got it. And that's really helped. And it's also kind of calmed me, like how I calm myself is I think about, I have a big glass ball of all my hate. I throw it at a wall and it just all shatters. I take a deep breath in. I breathe it out. And it feels fine. Yeah, so that's just been like my strategies and how I've kind of worked with it.
Wow. We teach a similar approach to children that are in any of our programs. Very similar. I love your glass jar metaphor. I mean, that's a perfect way to describe it. It's essentially like it's figuring out a way to, let something go, release. But wow, I got to borrow your jar metaphor there. That's awesome. Have you heard of, there's another side to that jar metaphor. Have you heard of the jar of awesome?
No.
So this is one thing I started doing a couple years ago during the COVID pandemic. I just got a physical jar on my desk right here. But anytime something good happens, might be, oh, that cinnamon roll was so good. Thank you. Thank you, Alex, my wife. Or it might be, wow, that was a great run. Or, wow, somebody at HEB just let me go in front of them because they knew I had somewhere to be, or I looked urgent, right? I just write it down. I write down the date and just drop it in that jar. And then as it stacks up, you start feeling so good about your own life. Like, wow, there's so many good things that have happened to me. So it's something maybe to consider. You break your jar of stress, but you build your jar of awesome.
That's cool. Kind of similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one's pointed in release and one's pointed at gratitude.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. So, upbringing with kids who face really hard things, what keeps you going when a day at work is really heavy?
Well, it is those stories of success. I think there's a couple that really ring true. So we serve girls that actually are dealing with so much that they can't even be in foster care. They have to be watched 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's called residential treatment. And this facility of ours, it's beautiful, has a full gym, indoor gym, horses, goats. It's right on the river down in Canyon Lake. And there was a girl just last week where she had achieved this certification, certified nursing assistant, or CNA certification. And this is on top of her day-to-day schoolwork. This was a girl that she had been arrested at one point. She's only 15, 16 years old. She was told by the guards that she'll never amount to anything, that she's going to be locked up forever. Really tough things to be experiencing so young. And then here she is standing in front of us, crying, saying, thank you. You people believed in me. You people gave me a way to see God and have made me stronger in my faith. And when you see a few things like that every month, it's really easy to stay motivated, because that individual difference, it is so palpable. I mean, you can feel it in the room. And so it's stories like that that really balance the tougher ones. I mean, just like anybody else throughout the day, you said you have to placate your teacher. There's certainly people I have to placate, and, not everyone is perfect, but as you said, meeting them where they're at. Really, the stories of the success help you get through all of that, cut through all the noise.
Yes, definitely. And if I'm going to be for me, something sad amounts to this much. Something big is, as you said, the awesomeness jar. Something just something very little but sweet can make me feel so, so, so very good. And so much better, and get over something that I'm mad at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So just also And here, how do I reword this? Just hearing somebody being so successful and making it to a good point where they were all the way down here, then they got to here is awesome. If you were involved in it.
Yeah, very inspiring.
Yes, definitely.
Man,
So if
you gotta
you
remember these are children, but 10 years from now, these are the people working in hospitals. These are the people working for the city, maybe. These are the people maybe you talk to at the grocery store. They become the community, right? You know?
Yeah.
So every life, we did the math, you know, a child will basically impact 1 million people.
Wow.
And you think about that. That's incredible, right? You think about every person that child's going to impact on this earth. You change the trajectory of one. I mean, you've fundamentally changed 1 million lives.
Now, Dylan loves math. So you'll have to do some back of the napkin math.
Yeah.
Because that's a very cool stat. But we also got to know, like, how do you get there?
It's the 6 degrees of separation. So technically it's 1,100,000, 11,000 or people.
Yeah.
But it's assuming that, well, child has a couple classmates they impact on a daily basis. They have maybe 2 friends and then a parent and a sibling, or maybe 2 parents, or maybe multiple siblings. And it's basically when you extrapolate it out, all the people they interact with and those deep relationships they have, in addition to that one child, it works out to about 1.1 million people.
Wow.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you could go back and tell 9-year-old Kyle one piece of advice, what would it be?
Wow. That is a tough one. You know, I probably tell a couple things. One is don't live with regret. So I lost a big race in high school. I mean, big race. This was, would have put me top 8 in the state. So all state, the 50 free. And, I regretted that loss. Thought about every little thing I could have done better, to the point of mental exhaustion. And it lasted for years. And that was, I wasted a lot of time, dwelling on that when I could have been fortifying my mind and approaching other things more optimistically and beating myself up. So let's say, don't live with regret. The past is the past. You can focus on today and being prepared for tomorrow, but don't live with regret. I would also tell him, keep doing the things you really love. And if you don't love it, you can stop. The example with that comes from, I was really interested in history and political science in college. And I said, well, I'll do a double major. And what it did was it limited my ability to explore other subjects. And by my senior year, I didn't love those things equally. And I should have probably dropped one and explored other things, maybe things in science or computer science. So, if you stop loving something, you can pick up something new. That's not necessarily quitting, but I was really focused on do not quit. But it wasn't quitting. It would have been giving up something I didn't love to maybe love something new. And the third piece of advice is maybe start running sooner. So I'm past all the injury prone stages. I think it's great, Dylan, that you're running at 9 years old, but the more I invested in swimming and stopped running, those first few years of triathlon and ultra marathoning it's just endless injuries. And now I'm at a point where there are no injuries, but I probably would have started running sooner, because running for me gives me something swimming never did. I can run with a friend and have a conversation. I'm going running in Lakeway on Saturday with a guy I work with who's just an amazing guy. And I can talk with people. When I'm running, I can listen to a podcast. So this morning I listened to your podcast with Jimmy Johnson. And then it also gives you this opportunity to explore, whereas with swimming, I'm in this 6 feet wide, 25-yard long space and going back and forth. Whereas when you hit the trail, like you go down to Town Lake, it's beautiful. It helps you think. So that final piece of advice is start running sooner, earlier. Do it now.
Yeah, and I love that. Running, even though it's a lot of cardio and you're running fast and you're moving your body, it is a very kind of relaxing process to just, because I'd wake up every morning and I'd listen to sports or something. It's like, or an audiobook, and it really helped just calm me and just get ready for the day.
Yeah. I think it's some of my best ideas when I'm running.
Yeah, definitely. So, who is one person we should network that we should interview next, and why? Or network to from you?
Someone from his network.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, maybe the guy I'm talking with on Saturday, he's a former leader in the Army. I can't remember what his final rank was, but he was overseeing a few hundred soldiers under his command. He's jumped out of planes and helicopters, and he started at Upbring right around the same time I did after he exited military service. And he just runs ultra marathons because he's trying to find the challenge, and keep his mind right, just like I am. His name is David Dean. I think his second person would actually be my brother, my brother Ryan Kerrigan. He ended up playing for they were called the Washington Redskins at the time, now the Commanders. Played for them for 10 years and then spent this 1 year with the Eagles.
What position did he play?
He was an outside linebacker.
Oh, cool.
He was a defensive end at Purdue, but they ran a different scheme in Washington, so he was primarily on the edge. And we had very similar mindsets, and we both had this coach from high school that gave my brother and I something that is at the top of my goal sheet. So I have annual goals, I am at life goals, and he instilled in us lifelong fitness. Lifelong fitness is a goal. And Coach Hostetler, Coach Ho, he instilled it in us both. And it's something he and I live with to this day, every day. It's about lifelong fitness, because if you're fit, if you are healthy, you can take care of your family. If you're fit, you're healthy, you can be a good neighbor. If you're fit, if you're healthy, you can avoid those things that prevent you from maybe going surfing, maybe taking that hike up the mountain, taking advantage of those opportunities that come out of nowhere. And also being fit and healthy is the best way you can respect the gifts that have been given to you.
Yeah.
Right? Your body is one of the most precious gifts that's been given to you. So I think my brother would be somebody that you would really enjoy hearing about his time at Purdue University or in Washington.
Be awesome.
Yeah, and he told me about your brother. He just before the pod, he gave me a little rundown on you, and he said your brother did play in the NFL for was it 10 or 11 years?
11.
Okay, 11.
What about your old swim coach from DePauw? Is he around?
Well, sadly, he had a health issue a couple years ago. It's prevented him from really speaking well. So he's receiving care up in Cleveland where he grew up. So he's probably not up for it, but I will ask him. Because he's just a phenomenal guy.
Yeah, as affectionately as you talked about him as a leader and a coach and his ability to connect with the team on an individual level, sounds like he made an incredible impact on your life.
Oh, one of the foremost people in my life, to be sure.
Yeah.
This is a guy, this is hilarious, and this is not a joke either. He was the swim coach, but he was also an advisor to our fraternity. He was the head of the Jewish Center. He taught 2 courses on sports psychology. He was president of the city council, literally elected an elected public official, started the sports park in the town, raised the money for it. I mean, just did everything. I mean, he was like the mayor, but he was an elected official, just not the mayor. Well, it's an hilarious story. There's going to be some movie about him one day, I'm convinced.
It's so cool.
He just did everything, didn't he?
Yeah, he was always on his phone. I mean, always. But
working the angles.
He was always somebody he was helping.
Yeah.
Super cool.
It's cool.
Well, Kyle, we thank you so much for your time. And man, this has been
Yeah,
a
it was
really
awesome.
special conversation. I think we've learned a lot about grit and determination, but I think we've also pulled some heartstrings just a little bit and had a little bit of an emotional conversation, which is always super cool.
Yeah.
We think about impacting the world around us.
Yes.
Thank you both. I really enjoyed meeting you both, Dylan, Ryan. Also happy to help connect with anybody. I'll keep thinking.
Yeah.
Because I'd encourage anybody. I was telling Ryan before the pod that how often do you just sit down and have a conversation without your phone? This is a great time to dedicate conversation with people you don't know, getting to know people, and putting aside the distractions. I think it's phenomenal.
Well, we definitely we should definitely get together with Tanner, you and Tanner, and Dylan and I, because just to meet in person since we're here in Austin. I think that'd be super cool.
Another Tanner, right? Because we interviewed Tanner Price.
Tanner is who?
Tanner Kerrigan. Yeah, Tanner Kerrigan.
No, Tanner Price is who introduced us to Kyle Kerrigan, who we're talking to right now.
Yeah, Tanner.
Cool.
Tanner's one of my best friends. We live in the same neighborhood. He grew up with my wife and my brother-in-law.
Oh, cool.
He's a great guy. Great
dude.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for your time. We'll be in touch on some of the other connections, and then we'll revisit that group text that we had with Tanner, and let's figure out a time to grab a morning coffee and a donut on the weekend, or grab some lunch or something. But it'd be great to visit with you guys.
That'd be great. Sounds great. Thank you,
awesome.
guys.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
He's gone. He could go all the way.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs?
We talking about practice.
You play to win the game.
Playoffs?
It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
It's the